In news you might have missed, 78-year-old John Sullivan has pled guilty to a hate crime after hitting a Vietnamese man with his car twice while yelling at him and his family to go back to China. Yes, you heard me. He hit a Vietnamese man twice with his car while yelling at them to go back to China. George Engao, seen here, was the Vietnamese man that was hit twice by the racist John Sullivan. Where prosecutors said that Sullivan threatened to kill George and his family and told them to go back to China. And after the verbal altercation, Sullivan hit George with his car, where George hung onto the roof, and Sullivan drove about 200 yards before George fell off and Sullivan hit him again. Then, allegedly, Sullivan fled the scene while George suffered a broken shoulder, a concussion, and injured his leg. What's interesting about the case is that Sullivan initially pled not guilty to civil rights violations, assault, and reckless driving, where after the incident he was released on home confinement and no driving, but later on court documents show that the charges against Sullivan were dropped in March of 2023. Which was interesting because this announcement is by the federal prosecutors. So it looks like the state did not want to pursue hate crime charges against Sullivan for hitting an Asian man and being a racist. I may never know the reason, but it makes me wonder why federal prosecutors handled this case instead of state. But yes, anyways, Sullivan will be sentenced this summer to a maximum of 10 years in prison, 3 years on supervised release, and a fine up to $250,000.